All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're doing a deep dive, a masterclass really, on a sales methodology that can absolutely transform your results, command of the sale.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with what command even means. Then we'll get into the core philosophy, the mindset behind it. After that, we'll break down its 4 crucial pillars, talk about how to actually implement this stuff, and then we'll wrap it all up with a really solid, real-world example.
So, first things first, what exactly are we talking about when we say command of the sale?
So this whole idea was coined by John Kaplan of Force Management, and it represents a huge shift in thinking. It's not about pushing a product. It's about a total transformation from being just another vendor into becoming a doctor of selling. You know, a trusted advisor who can properly diagnose a buyer's real needs, not just the surface-level stuff they might mention first.
You see, this entire methodology really just boils down to answering 4 huge questions, but from the buyer's point of view. Why should I change anything at all? Out of all the options, why should I choose you? Why is acting now so critical? And finally, what's the real, tangible value in it for me? If you can confidently answer these 4 questions for your buyer, you've commanded the sale. It's that simple.
Okay, so let's get into the mindset behind all this. Because to really pull this off, you've got to stop thinking like a traditional salesperson and start thinking like a top-tier consultant.
And what does that mean? Well, it means throwing out that old spray and pray or mud against the wall approach for good. A consultant knows that selling isn't a numbers game. It's not about luck. It's a science. It's a predictable, repeatable process that's governed by cause and effect. You put in the right inputs, like deep discovery and clear value, and you will predictably get the right output, a closed deal.
And here's something that is absolutely crucial to understand. You don't need to be 100% better than your competition. You don't even need to be 50% better. It's all about finding that winning edge. We're talking about being just 3 to 4% better in the most critical areas, like how you ask questions or build rapport. That tiny edge creates an exponential difference in your results.
I love this. This just perfectly illustrates the core of selling value. Your product, your software, your service, that's just the vessel. It's the container. What the customer is actually buying is the treasure inside, the outcome, the relief from their pain, that feeling of transformation. You have to always focus on selling the treasure.
Okay, now we're getting to the absolute heart of this framework. These are the 4 pillars that hold up every single commanded sale.
All right, take a look at this matrix. Think of it as your blueprint. It connects each pillar, pain, value, differentiation, and urgency, to its strategy, its tactic, and its goal. See how a specific tactic, like using the 7 levels of why, is designed to achieve a very specific goal, uncovering the real needs? This is your roadmap. Let's touch on each one.
So that first pillar, finding the pain, is all about discovery. And this quote says it all, right? Telling is not selling. Only questioning is selling. You can't command a sale by giving a lecture. Instead, you use a smart series of logical, open-ended questions to guide the prospect to uncover their own real problem, that deep-seated pain that you can solve. For pillar number 2, value, you have to be constantly broadcasting on your customer's favorite radio station, WIFM. And what's that? It's what's in it for me. Never just list features. Your job is to translate those features into clear benefits across these 4 dimensions. How does this make their job easier? How does it save them money? How does it improve their status? How does it give them peace of mind?
Pillar 3 is all about differentiation. And listen, this isn't a battle of products. It's a battle of perceptions. It's a battle for space inside your prospect's mind. You know how Volvo just owns the word safety? That's the goal. What is the one word you want to own in your prospect's mind? That's your real competitive advantage.
And our final pillar, urgency. This is where psychology really comes into play. And check this out. The research is crystal clear. The fear of loss is a whopping 2.5 times more powerful as a motivator than the desire for gain. That is huge. So to stop deals from stalling, you have to frame the conversation around what they stand to lose by waiting. Okay, so we've got the theory down, but how do we actually do this? Let's get into the practical side of things, the do's and the don'ts. These 5 actions are absolute game changers. Number 1, stop selling, start serving. It shifts your focus to their success, not your commission. Number 2, use the approach close. That's where you just say you're there to see if there's a mutual fit. It instantly lowers their guard. Then you leverage specific social proof, keep the spotlight on them so they're the hero of the story, and finally, practice mental rehearsal to prepare for success. Now, just as important as what to do is knowing what not to do. These are the common traps. Avoid feature dumping. You're just going to bore them. Never sell standing up. It subconsciously makes you look subservient. Eliminate last-click bias, meaning don't just focus on the last person you talk to, address all the stakeholders. And never let one person's personal agenda derail a decision that's good for the whole company.
Okay, let's make this super concrete and see how it all comes together in a real-world B2B tech scenario.
So, picture a cybersecurity rep. They don't walk in and start talking about their tech. Nope. They begin with discovery, asking about business pressures. Then, for value, they give the CFO an ROI simulator so they can validate the numbers themselves. And finally, when the buyer wants to think it over, the rep takes command. They create urgency by framing the cost of an action, highlighting the very real and daily increasing financial risk of a potential data breach.
And really, this quote from Peter Drucker is the ultimate goal, isn't it? When you've done your discovery so well, when you understand the customer so deeply that the solution is a perfect fit, the sale becomes a natural, logical conclusion. It basically sells itself. And please, remember this when you're thinking about your competitors. It's not always the best product that wins. It's a battle of perceptions. The company that wins the battle for space in the customer's mind is the one that succeeds. That is where your differentiation truly lives.
But at the end of the day, all of this, every pillar, every tactic, every single question we've talked about, it's all built on this one foundation: trust. Without trust, there is no command. It's the glue that holds everything together. And when you master this, you stop being a vendor and you become what you were meant to be, a truly trusted advisor.